Well, welcome back everybody as we come to you from Gugulethu. We're on top of the mall here in Gugulethu. What we're trying to do is get an idea from the community, some of the issues that are affecting them. In fact, what's happening here in Gugs at around about 10 o'clock this morning, there's going to be a shutdown of the area, and a peaceful shutdown. What's happening is that all organizations are coming together. They are going to be marching through the streets, handing over a memorandum to police, to whoever. We'll find out more details about exactly what's going to happen, but they are putting their demands of what they expect to improve here in the community of Gugulethu. Well, I said to you, we're sitting on the roof here in Gugulethu. It's just started to rain. Normally I'd scurry inside, but I think after the heat wave we've been having in Johannesburg, I'm actually welcoming a little bit of a cool breeze, and I'm in amazing company, I have to tell you. With me is Professor Nomvula Mtetwa. She's the chairperson of the board for the Community Plough Back Movement. She's been telling me she's been working on this for 50 years? Over 50 years?
Yes.
So you've been here in this community working with the individuals, the people, you've seen the issues, and I mean you've had hands-on experience with everything.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. Because I believe very strongly that we need, for me, one of the most important things is that people should be able to look after themselves. As a social worker, that's one of the things that we're trained in. I'm a qualified social worker, yeah, but also an educator, yeah.
So if I had to ask you, over the more than 50 years that you've been here in the community, what is the most pressing issue that affects the community of Gugulethu?
It's the usual one, unemployment, especially with the youth, a lot of young people just roaming around and ending in criminality and so on. It's a housing problem, that we have all over the place. Yeah.
Drugs?
Resources, yes.
What about drug issues?
Oh, yes. Drug issues and alcoholism, yeah.
Gender-based violence, I know, is a major issue, because that's something that we're going to be talking to a lot a bit later on in our program. We've assembled together a lot of people that are going to talk to the issues, and we're going to have some form of a town hall discussion inside. But gender-based violence is one of the most worrying issues as well here on the Cape Flats. Over the years, have you noticed things getting worse and worse?
It seems things are getting worse, unfortunately, yes. Because I think, but it stems from the criminality, stems from the unemployment, especially the young people who are just moving around, not knowing what to do and so on, and also the resources of keeping those young people busy, are wanting in the so-called townships, yes.
As the Community Plough Back Movement, what do you do for the community?
I'm a generalist, so I'm involved in a lot of things with the Community Plough Back Movement, which we refer to for short as CPBM. Yeah, we're working on 4 different programs. One is food security, and we've been organizing food gardens at the homes, in the schools, and so on. Yes. And we're also involved, one of my pet programs also, the promotion of traditional songs and dances. Oh. Yes, yeah. And we have a group, and I'm saying if ballet people can just do ballet and nothing else, so be it, with indigenous dancers and so on, yeah. And then the third thing, we're also involved in women in sewing, where people are sewing traditional clothes and so on. And the fourth one, we're also involved in what I call African jewelry, not beading.
I've seen these ladies inside looking magnificent. So this is all of the community, they coming together doing it?
Absolutely. And they do those themselves, and they sell them. And then the idea is that they too have little small businesses of their own, yeah. So we do get people to train them and so on, yeah.
Do they make a sustainable living? I mean, do you find that they can actually support their families and be self-sufficient through this?
I like the way they put it. They usually say they can put bread on the table. As long as they can put bread on the table. I mean, there isn't enough to save and things like that, but at least they can put bread on the table.
But we need to improve that, and that's something that we look to funding, we look to partnerships, we look to, there's always this talk of growing the township economy and wanting it to be a place where tourists want to come, they want to visit. But when you hear about the crime, when you hear about the rape, when you hear about how unsafe it is for residents that live here on a daily basis, how are you going to grow that when people are scared to live here?
Absolutely. This is one of the areas I've also been involved in for the last 50 years here. You know, I was the first organizer of community centers here way back in 1964. And those were resources where young people could come and do things like sports, you know, weightlifting, boxing, you know, and things like that. So that, but at the moment, there aren't enough of those resources. And I want to take this opportunity, whilst I'm talking here, to talk to our Department of Arts and Culture in the Western Cape, our local, that we need to be looking at how we can augment those resources for young people.
And I was chatting to one of our crew members saying that, you know, he grew up in this area, and some of his friends that he grew up with and guys that he'd seen practicing and playing are some of the best jazz musicians you will ever meet.
Yes, Mankunku, the Mankunkus, the Ngukana brothers, yes.
Coming from here, so arts and culture, exactly.
Yes, they all come from here.
I mean, these are big things. Wait, I'm reading here as well that you're a member of the Retired Educators Club. Now, what is that?
This is a club for all people who've been teaching for the last 30 years and so on. We meet once a month. In fact, I've missed it yesterday because I was preparing to come here. We meet once a month and we do a number of different things just to keep ourselves busy. Right. Yeah.
Great. Well, that's really wonderful. And then finally, also on the Moral Regeneration Movement Board.
I've just been appointed last year to serve on the Moral Regeneration Board, yeah. And I want to take this opportunity to say to the people of the Western Cape, very soon they'll be seeing invitations from me, because we need to start our own board in the Western Cape. It's not been doing very well, yeah.
85 and going strong. Your petrol tank is still full. It is still full, Mama.
The mind is fine, but the only problem is the body.
That's why we're sitting here this morning. Thank you so much for talking to us. What a pleasure. It's amazing how you've got people that are committed and dedicated to making a difference, and that's what they do their entire lives. Doesn't matter how long they've been doing it for. It's something that they'll continue to do. But thank you so much, Mama. Thank you for talking to us. Prof Nomvula Mtetwa, chairperson of the board of the CPM. So stay with us here on Morning Live. We're going to continue to come to you from Gugulethu, but we'll move inside and we start talking about the real issues that are affecting people. But right now, back to Joburg, and Vay's got our sports news.